Good morning. I wrote the blurb and the title yesterday, actually fairly early yesterday, and I've been pondering it ever since. The title is this: Life is not a pissing contest. Yesterday, a viewer wrote, and I wrote this yesterday for today because it was yesterday morning when I wrote it, so it was today when I wrote it, but I was thinking I'm going to be doing this tomorrow, so I wrote yesterday. Anyway, yesterday a viewer wrote, "Believe me, an advanced person knows he is. Not saying I am, but I remember a group meditation after which the leader said that it is okay to admit to yourself that you are further along in development than another is. You think Jesus didn't know his own state in comparison to others?" I replied, this came to mind, 2 Corinthians 10:12. For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise. We each play roles, and it has nothing to do with being more advanced than someone else. The heart would stop beating if the anus went on strike long enough. One is not better or more advanced than the other. As I said, I've been pondering that for maybe 20 hours. I don't know exactly what time I wrote this, but it might have been about 20 hours ago. Someone said once, or maybe more than one person said it, or maybe I read it, I don't know, but life is an initiation into a process of spiritual evolution. I'm saying human life is actually an initiation process that's going on so that we can ground or make more solid spiritual reality. Spiritual beings can live in a nice state of bliss because they don't have to deal with contrast. They don't have to deal with they don't have to deal with conflict. I mean, things are not as apparently polarized as they are in a physical manifested world. And the whole purpose, as I see it, of having the human experience is to make the spiritual reality more real. Now, I know some people might argue and say, but that is the reality. This is the illusion. Well, maybe that's backwards too. Maybe the reality is what we're calling the illusion, because the whole purpose of creation might have been to materialize the spiritual world. And it's done it through a process that we call illusion or hologram or a little bit of apparent matter at a vibration so low that we can actually see it and touch it and perceive it with senses that are physical. Now, I'm not in any way belittling spiritual extra senses or ESP. I'm not belittling that at all. I think our purpose is to ground those gifts and talents and abilities that are ours in the spirit world and ground them in the physical world. And the way spirit seems to have done this thing called creation is through a process of evolution. where the creature enters a state of amnesia, having come from the spirit world, and doesn't remember what it is, or as it manifests in many realms of matter, what he or she is, because it does seem to manifest in gender roles or in pairs of opposites, masculine and feminine, positive and negative, light and dark, etc. That's how creation seems to manifest, seems to come into existence, if you will, but it's to evolve. It's to integrate the whole thing. And it comes in with a lot of contrast and a lot of polarization. I am this. Well, you've got to learn how to be this, whatever this is. We call it the ego. We call it the illusory self or the lower self. But is it lower? Is it lower, actually? Could spirit, could God, could creator know itself, himself, herself, without people courageous enough, beings courageous enough to go through this initiation process of materializing spirit, making spirit, which is masculine, feminine, and receptive, and somewhat dependent, but not disempowered. I don't mean the feminine lacks power, as one individual said at the Love Line the other night. Masculine is strong and feminine is weak. BS. And that may be a perception, but it's a false perception. What is the strength? The feminine makes manifest, if you will, the spiritual world. It brings it into spiritual existence. And it does that through role playing. Yeah. Acting. It writes dramas and stories for us to act in. And we each play roles. And the analogy of the human body in comparison to all that is in the manifest world is one that comes home to me again and again and again. We think of the heart as the superior organ. It's the first organ created. It gives off far more energy than the brain or any other organ in the body. But can the heart live alone by itself? No. That's not how it works in nature. That's not how it works in creation or in evolution. It's not how it works. It creates other organs around itself, each to play a role. And I chose the heart and the anus for a specific reason. The anus deals with our shit, and the heart deals with our love. Now, which is superior to the other? Huh. How dare anyone think of him or herself as superior to someone else because they are playing an advanced role? That's one of the things that the Holy Spirit, the Great Spirit, my Creator, my higher self has been trying to get me to see my entire freaking life. Ron, it's all you. The shadow is as much you. The ego is as much you and as much real as any other part of you. There is no superior part of you. And what do we want as human beings? We want to be loved as we are. We want to be seen for what we are. And we go about judging each other. Oh, you're being negative. And that's a trigger That's a sensitive point for me because I've been called negative by so many people in my life. Even when I was a fundamentalist Christian, they didn't use the word negative. What did they use? I mean, I can't even remember what they called me, but you're unstable was one of the accusations. You're unstable. Because I've worked a long time, even before I knew how to identify what it was that I was freaking doing. I've been working about integrating opposites. The biggest challenge that we have as human beings is to integrate our opposites, as Aristo and I talked about the day before yesterday, which aired yesterday as the video of the day. It's so hard. This process of initiation is so difficult because we make it a pissing contest and we compare ourselves with each other, and we don't even stop there. We compare ourselves with ourself, and we don't measure up to our own self because we've got parts and feelings and experiences that we don't like, and we reject and we push away, and we say, well, I want to love, but I can't love that. I can't love that part of me, or I can't love that person that represents that part of me, because we don't even see that they're representing something about us. We don't even see that the Illuminati is nothing more than our own less advanced ego. And I don't mean that it's less than, really. It just hasn't awakened yet to see the bigger picture, to connect the dots. And that's what this whole thing that we're going through now in 2013 and 2011 and 2012, this whole thing has been about bringing up the underworlds, bringing up the shadow elements, letting the darkness be revealed, letting the hidden things, the occult things, come into the realm of our conscious awareness so that we can make the unconscious conscious, as Carl Jung said. That's the job. That's the job. But we want to play the roles of hierarchies and of one-upmanship. And I'm better than you are. My God is better than your God. And my religion is the right religion. And my this is something superior to yours, whatever yours is. We play this polarization game. And we do this dueling. This constant conflict, constant comparison and evaluation and judgment that we place on things as being superior or lesser than. And the truth of the matter is, none of it is real. None of it is the truth. The truth of the matter is, there's only one of us here, and that's the Creator, who manifested himself, herself, itself in myriads of forms and myriads of experiences and myriads of personalities and myriads of characteristics, so that it might know itself and be whole again for the very first time in physical reality. It's not about escaping a part of me to make myself better. I'm not broken. It's been to get me to love myself where I am, and seeing all the apparently separated, disseparate parts, seeing those elements in myself and loving me. And when I can do that, I'm more able to love somebody else who's going through the same process, but a little different. No two fingerprints are alike. No two snowflakes are the same. Everything is unique and individual. Everything has its own signature, its own energy. Everything in the universe does. So individuality is important. Materiality is important. It's not about rejecting, as the Gnostics do, rejecting the physical creation as archonic or demonic or something bad. It's not bad. And God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. But we don't believe that. And I haven't believed it. Lots of my life, I've gone through the same process that you go through, the same process that we all go through, the same struggles. It's just that I've decided that I'm not going to play the game of trying to hide who I am and trying to hide what I feel and what I experience. Because if I have a tombstone ever, I want it to say, he lived an authentic life. He told the truth. Ain't always pretty. Don't always fit in. I haven't fit in a lot. Because I won't play the game that so many play, of pretending, of faking it till I make it. I won't play that game. I'm going to tell the truth. I made that commitment to myself, and I'm keeping that commitment to my Creator, which is probably myself. It's not a pissing contest, folks. And it's not about being superior to anybody else. And the objective, I believe the objective of Creator, of creation, is that we all wake up and come home. Yes, some wake up faster than others, but no one is better or lesser than anyone else. No one. We are all together, and this is life. And yes, we piss and defecate and fart and burp and do all sorts of things. Go easy on yourself. You're alive. Honor the gift of life. Honor yourself. And when you do, you honor all of creation. Thank you for listening. Namaste.